thanks to all of you for coming out tonight on this pretty cold and rainy night. It's a tremendous turnout. It's very, very gratifying. Thank you for being here. I think we're going to have, again, a very informal conversation, despite the fact that I'm holding some notes in my hand. Steve crossed them out and turned them around. We're going to be a really no-scripted conversation, and then we'll definitely open up maybe even halfway through for questions. I'm going to take their mic off with them. Embarrassing. So most of you in the audience at the moment, I think, have...
Can I just say one thing before we start? There's a lady, Isabel, from Basel Art Museum. She's here. Isabel, can you stand up? You better stand up because the performance will not continue. Isabel? Where is she?
Up there.
Sure, she's up there. This is the first time in America, people. There you go.
I think it's also difficult to single out our colleagues from Basel and not call attention to the rather extraordinary exhibition catalog that our partners in Basel took the lead of producing, and it's in our stores now. Arrived yesterday, and it's really an extraordinary thing. We're so grateful to our colleagues in Basel for making that book a reality. So, anyway, thanks also again for being
Good. Wow, you just spin them.
So I was going to say that many of us, most of us in this room right now, just spent the last 96 minutes watching Hunger.
Yeah.
So can we just start? This is your first feature, obviously an extraordinary success. What drew you to the story of Bobby's Hands?
Well, I was 11 years old in London, and it's one of those times. At that age, it's sort of the end of, not the end of the beginning of the end of childhood. It's a long road, the beginning of the end of childhood, and sort of leaking into some kind of realities. And it was one of those moments where I saw this image on the television. It was a man, and I saw a number next to it, and I didn't know what that was. And I spoke to my mother. Mom, what is this? I said, it's Eddie's age. Because every day the numbers would go up, and there was this guy's face, his image. And she said, no, this person's a hunger strike. I sort of couldn't sort of calculate, it didn't compute as such. He's on hunger strike, he's not eating. And it's just one of those things that's had a huge impression on me.
1981.
1981.
12 years old.
11, thank you.
69.
Yeah. October, that's my birthday. January, March. Anyway, moving on swiftly. So yeah, it was one of those sort of moments where it was very impressionable, and it just stuck with me over the years. And obviously, 20 odd more years, 25 odd years more later, I made a film about it. It just stuck with me. This whole idea of this person not eating in order to be heard. And again, as a child, I think a lot of people, they want to remember that moment when your mother invites you and you're not leaving the table until you finish that food. And the only power you had as a child was to refuse to eat. And it's just that I had that sort of relationship with it. And I remember when I was doing some research, there was a quote from Goddard who said that, actually he had an interview with Pauline Kael, I think a day after Bobby Sands died, where he said that Bobby Sands and a Banamanov are childish for each other, but not it wasn't in a derogatory way, but I didn't understand at the time. It's a very good Guardian sort of comment, and that's when I sort of thought about the whole idea of being a child, and the only power you have, what time you wake up, what clothes you wear, what you eat, everything, your parents, you don't have any choice, you have to do that, as in discipline your child or whatever. The only resistance one had was to refuse food, and they just had that connection.
But at that point, when you finally decided to make this story by his hands, not only were you switching from a gallery-based practice, you've been making gallery-based work for some 15 years at that point,